All right, shalom, shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. We're going to start off this lesson by giving all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bahashem,
Yahweh
Yahushua,
Shai,
Bahashem,
Hashem
Hakodash,
Hakodash.
and double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and have taught us this word in truth and sincerity. All right, and peace and mercy to the hopeful elect, starting with the 144,000. It's pushing this word in truth and sincerity, and the rest of the innumerable multitude that sincerely believe as well. Okay, so in today's class, we're going to get into Isaiah 29th chapter. I had an original topic for it earlier, but as I was going through it, there's a lot that's happening in this chapter, so it's just various topics. But I will name the themes that we'll be dealing with. So in this chapter, and this will be a part one. We'll see how the spirit goes, but we'll definitely do a part two. In this chapter, the themes that we'll be touching on is judgment on Ariel, which is another name for Jerusalem, blindness and spiritual sleep, false worship and hypocrisy, deliverance and restoration for the humble. Okay, so let me just pull it up. And you don't hear no echo, eh? I don't hear
No,
no
you're
echo.
good. Yeah, you're good.
Okay, beautiful. I got it here in the NLT, so we're gonna just get right into it. Usually Malak has an opener. I don't know if you got something you want to open up with.
No, go ahead.
Okay, come on. All right, so this is Isaiah 29, chapter 29, verse 1 in the NLT, and it reads here, "What sorrow awaits Ariel, the city of David? Year after year, you celebrate your feast." And real quick, let's get that word Ariel.
Aria Allah. Because they go off in the definition.
Oh, okay, I can't.
It just means lion of the Most High.
Oh, yeah, I can't. Lion of the Most
Or
High.
lion.
Lioness.
Yeah.
Khan. Ariella. Khan. So, which that's not the original meaning then.
No, I was looking somewhere else. They're saying it means heath or something else. But here, yeah, when you looked it up there, it was proper. Lion of the Most High, Aria Allah. Yeah.
Yeah, Aria Allah. Yeah, Khan. Lion of the Most High. Yeah. Or Lion of the Power.
Mm-hmm.
So it says here, what sorrow awaits Ariel or Aria Allah, the city of David? Year after year, you celebrate your feast. Yet I will bring disaster upon you, and there will be much weeping and sorrow. For Jerusalem will become what her name Aria Allah means, an altar covered with blood. Oh, I see. Yeah, they go off in this part here. But nevertheless, what you see here is a theme of Israel partying and bullshitting when impending doom is right around the corner. Just like they were doing when we were in the land of Israel. It's even worse now as we were exiled and here in Babylon the Great, right? Which is America. So it says here, verse 3, I'll bring your enemy surrounding Jerusalem and attacking its walls. I will build siege towers and destroy it. Then deep from the earth he will speak. From low in the dust your words will come. Your voice will whisper from the ground like a ghost conjured up from the grave. So the Most High is going to kill a lot of Israelites, man, just like he did back then. Okay. You could also say this is a condition, a low condition, because our people don't like to acknowledge their wrongdoing until it's too late, until all hell breaks loose. Mm-hmm. It's no different now. Okay, so the Lord says you're going to be speaking, right, and your voice will be heard from in the grave. So which means you're going to be dead. You're going to be in the spiritual realm, or you're going to be in the condition of low degree. calling out to the Lord. And if you're not of the elect, you're not going to be heard.
Yeah,
Okay?
because the dust can also represent confusion,
That's
right?
right.
Like the curse on the serpent. Um,
Con.
the dust shall be the serpent's meat, going into how you Edomites are going to be in the kingdom. You know, like they show you in what do you call it? Like sometimes they'll have a fight scene in a movie, and the guy will throw dust in the guy's eyes, right? Just as a distraction
Yeah,
movement.
con.
The dude's confused and all, but it represents like a low state, like you're saying, right?
Right. Yep.
Because Jake is talking about land ownership, generational wealth. You know, Jake is just completely bugged out with modern prophecy, current news. You know.
Con. Yep. And funny enough, you see that ICE now is coming on Sovereign
Mm-hmm.
Kingdom with the
Yep.
Haitians, right? So you see the contrast. It's nothing new, man. Just like back then, the Lord said He's going to bring His enemies upon us for our disobedience and our sinful ways. It's the same thing that's happening now. Okay, and Jake's still partying and bullshitting.
Yep.
But this is Lamentations 2:1, and it reads in NLT: "The Lord Yahweh, in His anger, has cast a dark shadow over beautiful Jerusalem."
Mm.
Right? Also confusing. It says, "in a bad time." Okay, the fairness of Israel's cities lies in the dust thrown down from the height of heaven. Right, and this is also twofold. Heaven can literally mean the space above and the spiritual realm, but also a condition of rulership. Just like hell is a condition, right?
Yep.
Heaven is a condition of rulership and living lofty. Okay. So the Lord says what? He's going to throw down from the heights of heaven in this day in his day of great anger, which we're fastly approaching. The height of it. We're really already in it. The Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, has shown no mercy even to his temple. And that's something that they back then Israel placed more value on the temple than the fact of what it represented. Okay, just like they do today. Oh, they place more, just like they do today. They place more value on fringes and garments in the law than what it
Exactly.
points to. Okay, verse 2 it says, "Without mercy, the Lord Yahweh Bashem El Shai has destroyed every home in Israel. In his anger, he has broken down the fortress walls of beautiful Jerusalem.
Okay, real
He
quick,
has brought."
real quick. Let me just
Yep,
back you up on the
yep.
dust part because we were talking about the
Con,
dust
con,
before I forget. This is Psalms
absolutely.
113 and 7 KJV. It says, "He raiseth up the poor out of the dust and lifteth the
Mm,
needy out of the dunghill, that he may set him with princes, even with the princes of his people." Right. So it's a low, confused state. If you're in a low, poverty-stricken state, you're confused. You have no knowledge. You can't even
con,
help yourself, right? And then the NLT, it says he lifts the poor from the dust and the needy from the garbage dump, which is this
mm.
kingdom. You could say it's the fucking garbage dump.
Yeah, that's right.
He
That's right.
sets them among princes, even the princes of his own people. Oh yeah, that was the point.
Con, con. Beautiful. Verse 2, Lamentations 2 and 2, NLT. "Without mercy, the Lord Yahweh Bashem El Shai has destroyed every home in Israel. In his anger, he has broken down the fortress walls of beautiful Jerusalem. And walls serve as a protection. Okay. So whatever you Israelites lean on as protection outside of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, and this truth and knowledge is going to come to naught in the day of the Lord's anger. And that's going to be to your shame. Okay. It says he has brought them to the ground, dishonoring the kingdom and its rulers. All the strength of Israel vanishes beneath his fierce anger. The Lord Yahweh, Bashem El Shai, hath withdrawn his protection
That's right.
as the enemy's attacks. He consumes the whole land of Israel like a raging fire. Okay, so hey, this is Jacob's trouble. All right, as we're already in Jacob's trouble, but this is going to be the climax of it. Let me get one more. Get Baruch.
Because remember, it says in Isaiah 2 about I forgot about Babylon. Come sit in the dust, virgin
Right.
Babylon. So it all ties in. Because sometimes dust refers to, like, Adam was made of the dust of the ground. From the dust we were born, to the dust we return. But sometimes dust can also is a parabolic term. That's why you wacky, tacky Christians, like Pastor Gabar says, you guys can't get these scriptures, man.
That's
Not
right.
in a million years you can't get these scriptures.
Not. This is Baruch 2:20. Okay. In the GNT, it reads, "You turned your anger and wrath against us, just as you had threatened to do when your servants, the prophets, spoke your word to us and said, 'Bend your backs and serve the king of Babylonia,'" at the time, right? When Jeremiah had sent that letter, and he said, "Listen, when you go over to Babylon, just live your life, serve. Don't do any rebellious things. Don't take up arms, or go out of your way to take vengeance, so to speak." Okay, this is the Lord's judgment. It says, and this is the same message today, man. We're not out there protesting with the rest of Israel, with the rest of the people out there. It's not our time to do any attacking or taking arms of any sort. We're just here to set up to teach the word and obey Yahweh Shem Shai and work on our own salvation, man.
Yeah, we're fishers of men. Fishers
exactly.
are not warriors.
Exactly.
For the most part,
exactly.
you know what I mean.
Yep. 1000%. It says, and you can remain in the land, that I gave to your ancestors. But if you refuse to obey my command to serve him, right, take up arms, and which that was what is that, Chief Ephraim?
Yep.
A couple years ago, he was talking about, you gotta, GMS, you guys are a bunch of pussies, roughly
Mhm.
paraphrasing, for not standing up and protesting and all this, that, and the third. Okay, we'll see. We'll see when all hell breaks loose. It says, I will bring to an end every sound of joy and celebration in the towns of Judah and Jerusalem. Even the happy sounds of wedding feast will no longer be heard. The whole land will be desolate and uninhabited. And this is twofold, because we know that a people or a place is a people before it's a place. Okay, so it's twofold. At the time, we were actually in the land, but now we're scattered. So it's talking to the people today, prophetically.
Yeah, the book of Maccabees, it says the place is named for the people's sake, not the people for the place's sake.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's a good one. It says, I will bring to an end. Oh yeah, I read that. Verse 24. But we did not obey your command to serve the king of Babylonia, so you carried out the threat that you had made when you spoke through your servants, the prophets. When you said that the bones of our kings, of our ancestors, would be taken from their tombs and scattered, which is a very shameful thing. And now here they lie exposed to the heat of the day and to the frost of the night. They died in torment of famine, war, and disease. And because of the sin of the people of Israel and Judah, you have reduced your town or your own temple to ruins, even as it is today. Because at that time, they were boasted in the fact that the temple was still good, was still up and running. All right, so as long as temple's here, we're good. We can kind of do whatever we want, and no enemy can come up against us. The Lord had the Babylonians come and demolish that temple to show Israel that it wasn't about the temple. Okay, it was about serving the Lord in spirit and in truth, just like it is today, even more so today than it was back then. Okay. Am I reading too? Oh yeah, a couple more verses. It says, "But the Lord Yahweh, Bashem El Shai, you have been patient with us and have shown us great mercy. as you promised through your servant Moses on the day you commanded him to write your law in the presence of the Israelites. If you do not obey me, you said, you will be reduced to a handful among the nations where I will scatter you, right? I know that you will not obey me because you are stubborn people. But when you are taken into exile in another land, as we are today, you will come to your senses. And those that will come to their senses are the elect. Okay. Now, 2/3 will understand the truth, but they'll understand it when it's too late. Okay.
Well, they're going to get in the kingdom.
Yeah, but they're going to get in the kingdom. That's right. Then you will realize that I am the Lord Yahweh, your power. Bashim Al-Shai, the Lord Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai, your power. And I will give you a desire to know me and a mind which to understand.
See, this is spiritual, man. You can't go to theology school. You know what I mean? You can't just go to seminars and learn under some pastor or bishop. Like, you can study carnally as much as you want. Read it front to back, go to the Apocrypha, look up words, try to do what we do, go to the Blue Letter. But if the Spirit's not dealing with you, you're not going to get it. You need that mind, man. You need the key. You need the Lord to sup with you. You know, it's very spiritual. That's why when the elites really get it, they're like, yo, this is Yahweh Bashim Yahushua doing this. It's too late, you know, because they could take it for a joke for as long as but when things start really happening, when their narrative starts failing, because even this whole the war right now, that's a little scammy, man. Like weird things. It was just popping off. Now it's cooling down. Like, so these guys, they turn the valve and then they close it. They turn it, they close it. Like, yo, we can't go too far. Because they're seeing things too, right? They got telescope, they got satellite. They're seeing things out there that they don't disclose to you people, man. So they're like, yo, don't go too fast, But at the same time, they have to, because they know it's their last,
Yeah, their last Trump,
Yeah.
They only got a little time. Read this one more time. It says, verse 31, then you will realize that I am the Lord Yahweh, your power, and I will give you a desire to know and a mind with which to understand. There in the land of your exile, you will praise me and remember me. You will stop being so stubborn and wicked, for you will remember what happened to your ancestors. Isn't this what we're doing right now? I'm reading what happened to us in the past. And this is why the scriptures say the things that were written aforetime. Well, the things written aforetime are written for our learning.
That's right.
Okay, but you have to have the Spirit to be able to connect the dots. Ancestors, when they sinned against the Lord Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, then I will bring you back to the land that I solemnly promised, which we're waiting to be brought back there, to give to your ancestors, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and it will be yours again. I will increase your population, and you will never again be reduced to a small number. And this is twofold too, because we are as the sand of the sea, but a small number also means we're in a low degree, right? We're the smallest among the nations, which means we're looked down upon and we're weak. So going back here in Isaiah 24 and 5, okay, it reads, or Isaiah 29 and 5, Slack, in the NLT. It says here, but suddenly your ruthless enemies will be crushed like the finest of dust. Your many attackers will be driven away like chaff before the wind. Suddenly, in an instant, I, the Lord Yahweh of heaven's armies, will act for you with thunder and earthquake and great noise, with whirlwind, right, the chariots, and storm and consuming fire. When those laser beams hit, you evaporate completely. A brother had a dream about that. I think it was the brother from LA, one of the LA camps down there, and he had mentioned when them chariots came and hit those fighter jets, it just disappeared, like it evaporated, like nothing you've ever seen before, man. High level concentrated heat. Verse 7, it says, all the nations fighting against Jerusalem will vanish like a dream. Those who are attacking her walls will vanish like a vision in the night. A hungry person dreams of eating, but wakes up still hungry. A thirsty person dreams of drinking, but is still faint from thirst when morning comes. So it will be with your enemies, exactly. Starting with top wicked elite, man. All their hopes and desires that they have are going to come to nothing, okay? With those who attack Mount Zion, right? Because who is Mount Zion? Really, the elect, okay? That's the government, starting with the government with 144,000. That's really who the top wicked elite of Esau, Edom are after, because those are the ones that know the truth.
Yep, because Mount Zion means a monument to remember, right? And the Lord, you know, He remembers the first fruit, the precious fruit of the earth.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. The scriptures say that He has respect on it to His elect. We know respect means to look back. So
or else he wouldn't have given us the mind to seek Him and desire Him. You know,
exactly. Yeah.
So
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5. I'm also getting this in the GNT as well. I'm going to jump down to 14. So, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 14, the GNT. Oh. It says, What hope do wicked people have? Only the hope of straw blown about in the wind. The hope of ocean foam that disappears in the storm. The hope of smoke in the breeze. Their hope lasts no longer than our memory of a guest who stays one day and leaves the next. It says, but the righteous live on forever, right? That's why the scriptures say their works do follow them, okay? The Lord Yahweh Bashim El Shai will reward them. The Most High Yahweh will protect them. He will give them royal splendor and a magnificent crown. He will shield them with his powerful arm. Which is Yahweh Shai, okay? He will go out into battle determined to defeat his enemies and use creation itself as a weapon. Man, righteousness will be in his armor. Genuine justice will be in his helmet. It says, holiness will be his invincible shield. He will sharpen his stern anger into a sword, and the forces of nature will join him in battle. And this includes the animals, man. You got Leviathan, okay, Behemoth, okay? They're all going to get busy in the day of the Lord, man. It says, against those who are foolish enough to oppose him. Bolts of lightning will strike right on target, as if the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai had made a bow out of the clouds and was shooting arrows. You got chariots. His hailstones will beat down on his enemies with terrible force. The ocean and rivers will come rushing over them in a devastating flood, man. You're gonna get tsunamis happening in various parts of the earth as well. Okay, the Lord's gonna bring one hell of a devastation that the world has never ever seen before in its history of his creation. Great windstorms will blow them away like straw. Lawlessness will be the ruin of the whole world. Evil actions will cause governments to fall. That's right. So let's go back here I'll read verse 8 again. Isaiah 29:8. It says in NLT, a hungry person dreams of eating, but wakes up still hungry. A thirsty person dreams of drinking, but is still faint from thirst when the morning comes. So it will be when your enemies, with those who attack Mount Zion. Are you amazed and incredulous, which means unbelief, if I'm not mistaken, right? Incredulous.
I'm gonna double check.
Con.
Personally. Sounds the same, but never know.
Yeah, kind of the same.
No, I'm saying it sounds the same, but you never know.
Yeah, con.
Yeah. Pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
Con. Yeah. A person in their manner, unwilling or unable to believe something. Yeah. Con. So it says.
And then it's like your verse 9 in the NLT, KJV, it says, "Stay yourselves and wonder, cry ye out and cry, they are drunken, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink." But in the NLT, it says, "Are you amazed and incredulous?" So it's like a duality, you know, like, yeah, these people are bugged out and drunk of different philosophies that influences what they believe, you know. Like, oh, Esau is never going down. Like Jake makes those satire videos when the whole Iran thing was popping off. Yo, Iran, what's up? I thought you were gonna do this, and you got that stupid music playing in the background, and it's all a joke because they really believe, yo, we're America. Are you crazy? We've been on top generations, you know. So
that's right. Yeah. They don't believe that all this is going to happen. And then you have all the Hollywood movies too that make that satire too. You know, because Hollywood, that's what you call predictive programming. These devils will show you what's coming down the pipe, but then when the prophets will explain to you, scoff at it because you've already seen it in a entertainment light. All right. So when we tell you, you're like, you guys are watching too much movies, or this sounds like Hollywood, and it's like, well, that's what they're doing. They're telling you what they're prophets too on the left hand side.
The Chaldeans, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So verse 9, Isaiah 29:9, it says, "Are you amazed and incredulous? Don't you believe it? Then go ahead and be blind. You are stupid, but not from wine. You stagger, but not from liquor. For the Lord Yahweh has poured out on you a spirit of deep sleep." Deep, man. "He has closed the eyes of your prophets and visionaries." And this is why you have this division between primarily GMS, starting with the apostles and elders on down, bishops and elders on down, where we're telling you that Jacob's trouble is here. We're right around the corner. The destruction is coming nigh, very close. And then you have all these other Israelite camps that are saying, nah, it's not. It's the MOTB is in the microchip. You know, Jacob's trouble can come from 1,000 years from now, 30 years from now. You have this division because you have this group. They're asleep. The Lord has put them asleep. That's why you have that division. Okay. So it says, all the future events in this vision are like a sealed book to them. When you give it to those who can read, they will say, we can't read it because it is sealed.
Yep. That's one of the first things I remember learning from the apostles on the highways, where they're saying, you can open this book. It's not physically sealed, but it's spiritually sealed, right? It's sealed with parables, metaphors, allegories, spiritual things, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little. It's not just you just the whole chapter. You read Revelation 9, you're thinking, yeah, just the whole chapter, the devil and Armageddon, whatever,
Dragon, yeah, yeah. The
No, man, so
locust, you
it
took
can
possession.
switch. Yeah, it can switch from one verse to the next right away.
That's right.
The next
Right.
you're reading one verse and it's one timeline, and then you read the next verse and it's a whole different timeline.
That's right. Exactly. Yep. And it says, when you give it to those who can read, they will say, we can't read it because it is sealed. When you give it to those who cannot read, they will say, we don't know how to read. Now, funny enough, when you get this word, read, okay? And in the Hebrew, this is qua. Quara.
Yeah. Quara.
Quara. Yeah, fine.
Yeah, Quara.
Quara. And it tells you, it
There's
says here.
Two A's at the end.
Oh, okay, fine. I see. So it's QARAAAH.
I think the H is cut off, but it might be there, but sometimes it cuts off. So
yeah.
Because this shows the transliteration almost correct. Quara, Quara,
Yeah.
and then you add an A right there in the transliteration.
Con. Okay, yeah, makes sense. Quara. So it says here to call out, recite, read, cry out, proclaim. So it links to prophesying as well. Okay. It says to call, cry out, utter a sound. It says to call unto,
a loud sound.
Cry for, loud sound.
Yeah, hey, blow you the trumpet.
Sound. That's right.
Blow you the trumpets and sound. Yeah.
That's right. And then look at this. Call with name of Yahweh.
Mm-hmm.
You see? So if you don't have, if these camps are saying that we don't have the name, or the name is everything else under the sun but Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, guess what? They are fulfilling this prophecy that we're reading. They can't read the book. Okay.
Hey, brother, I gotta back you up real quick. Finish the definition. Finish, since you mentioned name. Yeah, bring it out. Yeah.
Con. It says read. Also, commission, appoint, call, and endow. Okay, you have to be given the Spirit.
We have an unction from the Lord that we know all things.
That's right.
So yeah, the elect is appointed. Yeah.
That's right. And then it even tells you here the call, proclaim, read aloud. It says be summoned, be named, and then it tells you down here be chosen.
Be called out, be chosen in the book of life. Yeah.
That's right,
man.
That's
it. That was it on that, right? I just wanted to bring that out, back you up, because I was reading this earlier. I wasn't going to bring it out, but then since you mentioned the name, I just said, oh shit, I got to bring this out. So this is Isaiah 52:1 in the NLT, going into the dust, but also just going into the name part, which you just mentioned, that we have to know the names. That's something that Apostle Gabar mentions a lot in his openings. He breaks down the name Yahweh Shai, why we need to know the name. We have to proclaim the name pursuant to Matthew's, I believe, what is that, 28, right at the end where he says you have to proclaim me throughout the world, confess my name.
Right.
So it says, wake up, O Zion, clothe yourself with strength, put on your beautiful clothes, O holy city of Jerusalem. For unclean and godless people will enter your gates no longer. Rise from the dust, O Jerusalem. Sit in a place of honor, remove the chains of slavery from your neck, O captive daughter of Zion. For this is what the Lord Yahweh says, when I sold you into exile, I received no payment. Now I can redeem you without having to pay for you. This is what the sovereign Lord Yahweh says. Long ago, my people chose to live in Egypt. Now they are pressed by Assyria. And we're in modern day Egypt and Assyria too, right?
That's right.
What is this? Asks the Lord. Why are my people enslaved again? Those who rule them shout out in exultation. My name is blasphemed all day long. And this is the point, verse 6. But I will reveal my name to my people, and they will come to know its power. So there's power in this name, man. You're not gonna tell me, bro, you'll play yogurt, Jesus, Most High Christ, all that fucking madness, man. All that fucking stupidness, man. There's power in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai.
That's
okay?
Right.
Then at last they will recognize that I am the one who speaks to them. So this is spiritual, man. You hear a voice, you feel the spirit guiding you.
Yeah.
To regular folks, that's crazy. You're crazy.
Yeah.
To regular civilians, Doc.
That's right. Don't kill me. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. That's the inside joke.
Yeah, I can't. So a regular civilian. Oh my goodness. So back here, Isaiah 29 and 12. Read. Oh yeah, you know what? I wanted to bring something out too. That's a good precept. I'm gonna get Deuteronomy 29.
Hey, because too, IUIC, I remember they always tried to sideswipe the argument that about the name of the Most High when it appears in the scriptures. They always try to say, alluded to the fact that it's talking about the law and not the physical name or the names of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. They always have that stupid argument. They'll bring out some precepts which they don't know what the hell it's talking about. But that's how you know. Why would the Most High doesn't need to reveal His law. You can read it. It's nothing to reveal. To reveal the name, that's something else. Because when even before, a little bit before I came in the truth, I was already looking things up. I never seen that exact formation of Yahweh. It's always Yahweh, Tetragrammaton, YHWH, Yahweh, whatever kind of. But I've never once, I had a book that had all kinds of different transliterations. Never once have I seen Yahweh and for sure Yahushua.
Right.
It's always Yahushua or whatever,
Yeah.
So the Lord has to reveal that name to you.
Yeah, that's a fact. This is Deuteronomy 29 and 2 in NLT. Moses summoned all the Israelites and said unto them, you have seen with your own eyes everything the Lord Yahweh did in the land of Egypt to Pharaoh and to all his servants and to his whole country. All the great test of strength, the miraculous signs, and amazing wonders. It says, but to this day, in 2025, even today, the Lord Yahweh has not given you minds that understand, nor eyes that see. And that's spiritual, man, because he just said that they seen all of it. So what eye is he talking about? Right? He's talking about your mind's eye, the spirit. So they weren't able to perceive that this is the Lord and actually understand, because we always go into the name, but then there's the reputation of that name. Okay? So it says, but to this day, the Lord Yahweh has not given you minds that understand, nor eyes that see, nor ears that hear. For 40 years I led you through the wilderness, yet your clothes and sandals did not wear out. That's crazy. That's why, for those of us that have this truth, man, we have to be diligent, careful, and grateful all the time, because look how deep of a sleep the Lord can put Israel in, where they can witness miraculous signs like the ones I'm reading, and they still neglect the Heavenly Father's power and distrust Him and go about doing whatever they want to do. It's a scary sight, man. It says, verse 6, you ate no bread.
When you look up that word, because I looked it up before, deep sleep in Isaiah, when you read before 29, he had put him in a deep sleep, right? When you look up that word sleep, it says sleep, but it also says trance. So you're like in a trance, like it's like you're that stage between you're awake and asleep, and some things don't make sense. It's like someone's talking, or you might be watching a movie, and then you're almost sleeping, and then it's like, you know, when you get weird dreams, it's like
Yeah.
distorted, and it's like
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
trying to get the message, but it's all bugged out, you know.
Right. Right. Right.
So
Right.
it's
Right.
like that.
Wow.
They're seeing these things, but they're it's just not clicking, you
Yeah.
know.
Wow.
Crazy.
Man, that's scary.
It's just like trying to
That's scary.
reason when a drunk person comes to camp. We tell them, "Yo, come back when you're sober," because you can't reason with a drunk person.
Right.
We did that years ago at over there by Dundas Square. Drunk people used to come up all the time, you know, just talk some madness. At first they may be cool, and then all of a sudden they just, oh, hey, you know, and then they start talking shit,
Yep.
and you try to calm them down, then they get more amped, and it's just like that. You
Yeah.
can't talk, you
Yeah.
can't reason with a drunk person, you know. That's why the police, they'll put you in the drunk
That's right.
tank, say, yo, sober up,
Come on.
you know.
Yeah. Come on. Yep. Verse 6, Deuteronomy 29:6, it says, "You ate no bread and drank no wine or other alcoholic drink, but he gave you food so you would know that he is the Lord Yahweh, your power." Okay. And it goes on, but the main point in here that I wanted to get out of this is the minds, right? He didn't give, the Lord hasn't given you, the Lord has to give you a mind to understand him and his son. That's point blank, period. You cannot will yourself to serve the Lord in righteousness. You can't will yourself to be a prophet. You can't will yourself to know the Lord. You get one more. This will be my last one, and we'll close it up. Matthew 13:10. Okay, I'm also going to get this in NLT. So Matthew 13:10. In NLT, it says, oh, what the hell? Okay, good. So Matthew 13:10, NLT reads, "His disciples came and asked him, 'Why do you use parables when you talk to the people?' He replied, he replied, 'You are permitted to understand the secrets of the kingdom of heaven, but others are not. To those, but yet the Lord loves everybody, right? To those who listen to my teaching, more understanding will be given, and they will have an abundance of knowledge. But for those who are not listening, even what little understanding they have will be taken away from them."
Mm-hmm.
Let me get this word listen. Let's see what it is. What the heck? For whoever has been, oh, has not. Oh, that's why it does that. Slacker, bear with me here. Has, okay. Oh, funny. The Greek word for here is echo.
Mm.
So the word for have in the King James, it says have, whoever has. It says to have, hold in the hand, in the sense of wearing, to have, hold. Look at this. It says to have, hold possession of the mind,
Mm.
right? It refers to alarm, agitating emotions, right? Because I think I forgot who said it, Paul or James said, "I stir up your pure minds." right? So when you first come into this truth and you understand this knowledge, you have a lot of emotions. Okay, you go through a lot of emotions, so your mind is being stirred up, right? The spirit is stirring you back up. It says to hold fast, keep, to have or comprise or involve. Yeah, so you got to be involved. You can't just hear this word, all right, and you not be involved in doing the work. You can't have your your hands in your pocket, so to speak. Okay, that's why the Lord said to those who listen, because those who listen are going to do. Or involve, regard, consider, hold. Yeah. Hold oneself, to hold oneself, or find oneself. So and so. Yeah. So you're going to be active, man. If you're listening to Yahweh Shem El Shai, you're going to be active. To hold oneself to a thing, to lay hold of a thing, to adhere or cling to be closely joined to a person or a thing. Yep, Yahweh Shai. And the Spirit is going to do that for you. The Spirit is going to have you retain this wisdom, knowledge, understanding. Okay. So it says here back in Matthew 13 and 12, says, to those in NLT who listen to my teaching, more understanding will be given, and they will have an abundance of knowledge. But for those who are not listening, even what little understanding they have will be taken away from them. That is why I use these parables, for they look, but they don't really see. They hear, but they don't really listen or understand. And that's that trance that the elder was talking about. They're in a trance. Okay, so it says, verse 14, this fulfills the prophecy, Isaiah, which is what we're reading. Isaiah that says, when you hear what I say, you will not understand. When you see what I do, you will not comprehend. For the hearts of these people are hardened, and their ears cannot hear. They have closed their eyes, so their eyes cannot see, which means they're being rebellious. Okay, they don't want to listen, and their ears cannot hear, and their hearts cannot understand, which is talking about their minds, and they cannot turn to me and let me heal them. It says, but blessed are your eyes because they see, and your ears because they hear. I tell you the truth, many prophets and righteous people long to hear what you see, long to see what you see, but they didn't see it. Yeah, because it wasn't the time. Now we see more than the prophets saw back then. We're living it, which the prophet, some of us are those prophets coming back anyways. So it says, and they long to hear what you hear, but they did not hear it. Okay. And yeah, it's another 12 verses. So we're gonna do, this is the part 1. So we're definitely gonna do a part 2, Lord willing. If not tomorrow, Thursday. We'll cut it here.
I just had one quick one on the mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is Ephesians 4:22, that ye put off concerning the former conversation the old man, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind. And in the NLT 23 reads, instead, let the Spirit renew your thoughts and attitudes. So you got to deal with the Spirit. The Spirit has to deal with your mind. To the Ruach Wadash, the Holy Spirit, Salakia, has to deal with your mind. And the word mind in the Greek is nous, right? It says the mind comprising alike the faculties of perceiving and understanding. And then down here on C, it says the power of considering and judging soberly. The power. So that shows you these people that are drunk, right? They don't have power. They were given the spirit of madness. And for you to understand soberly, to be calm and understand what's going on, you were given power. Power of the Holy Spirit, right? The power of considering and judging soberly, calmly, and impartially. That's why Deuteronomy, the whole great thing, Deuteronomy 21, I think it's 22, right?
22. Yeah.
Yep. Different aspects of the law, different aspects of the whole nature of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. People deal with it partially. They don't deal with it impartially, meaning they divide it and take what they like. I like this part. I don't like this part. This doesn't make sense. Well, you weren't given the power of the Spirit for it to make sense to you. You know, it says a
Yeah, that's
particular.
right.
Yep. It says a particular mode of thinking and judging, i.e., thoughts, feelings, purposes, desires. So this is all the Spirit, bro.
Con. Wow. That's also that other precept, rightly dividing the word of truth.
That's right.
You know,
That's
you're cutting.
No, go ahead.
You're cutting all over the place. Cutting left, right, boxes here. You're supposed to slice perfect pieces for everybody to have, to enjoy, but you're cutting all kind of different pieces. This size is bigger than the next size. You know, nothing matches. So again, you have to have the Holy Spirit to rightly divide this book, this measuring stick. It's also known as a measuring stick.
Fine. That's right.
Con. That's it for you?
Con, that was it.
Okay, Con. So, like I said, we're going to do a part 2 to this, either tomorrow or Thursday, Lord willing. So, with that, we're going to close, and we're going to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh, Bahashem. All right, and double honor to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and have taught us this word in truth and sincerity. Peace and mercy to the whole full elect, starting with the 144,000. All right, they're sincerely teaching this word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth, and the rest of the innumerable multitudes that sincerely believe. Lord willing, this lesson is straightforward and edifying to the whole full elect. Abba, Allah, and Shalom to the whole full elect.
Shalom.